Let's see if we can get this before it rains. Hello, bike. Hello, other bike. Hello, new truck. Well, the day after I got my new Trail Boss, which we're gonna have some good content coming, my wife went and got that. So I'm gonna do a quick review, might even take it for a little ride. So that is a 2026 Chevy Traverse. So I used to have a 2012, looked kind of like a minivan, but it was all-wheel drive and comfortable and towed 5,000 pounds. So I was like, yeah, all right, I can deal with it. Now it looks a lot more like a Yukon. So really nice tire package. They did a really good job with the Z71. You got a lot of cool features on it. We'll go through a bunch of them. First thing I noticed just looking at it visually, just beautiful. In some ways it kind of looks like the latest Explorers. In other ways the front kind of looks a bit more like a Yukon. It's not quite as hard edge because the Yukon's starting to get a little old in the tooth, even though I like it. Don't like the price on them. You want an all-wheel drive, decently equipped one, they start at $80,000, which is crazy. So instead, in the mid-50s, you can get all-wheel drive, 317 horsepower, no, 324 horsepower, all-wheel drive package with it's got like a dual clutch differential in the back so that it's all-wheel drive, but it can basically lock the, lock the rear differential by taking 50% of the torque from the front, but then it can put up to 100 to any particular wheel, which is pretty cool. Just put it down there. Every goddamn time I do a video, someone's gonna walk out and interrupt me. So what you've got is a decent all-wheel drive system, but it does not have a low-range gearbox. It's got cameras everywhere. It's got a panoramic sunroof. Got a really nice front where it's got the whole new grille, again, more cameras when you're off-roading and stuff like that. You got your red tow hooks from the Z71 package, new grille, new tires. And underneath, and a little harder to get underneath this one, like not quite as high as the truck, but it does have skid plates in key areas and stuff. You've got a 5,000-pound tow package. You've got the back end that opens up electronically. You've got 3-row seating, so you got your 2 captain's chairs. We'll get in the cabin in a minute. And then you've got your, these seats fold forward. I think you can even take them out. There's a storage cubby under here and a piece of plastic apparently. So you got all that kind of stuff. You got good storage back here. You've got, I think, like power outlets there. There's USB ports all over the damn place. It's a 3-zone climate control, which is really cool. Leather everything, speakers all throughout. You've got the push the button and closes for you, which is kind of cool. Let's go on into the cabin. It's got the tinted window package. Now there is a trim level above this that gives you the memory seating, so I don't have to adjust it when I get in after my wife. But really nice, very cool, spacious cabin. We'll fire this up and do some of the specs and stuff here. Let's see. Sounds like Snoop Dogg. Yeah. All right, let's turn that off. So what you've got is a really nice entertainment package. Now I think there is a level up from this. Even though it sounds amazing, kind of like my truck, it's not the Bose package. And usually they make the not Bose packages sound not so great because you're like, well, I want you to spend the money. What I do like is this has just like the Corvette. So you can use the regular mirror or you can use the camera. I like using the camera. I think that's fantastic. It lets you have better sight. You can zoom in as you adjust the clarity. It actually sees better at night through the rear tinted windows, and with the you know, your normal mirror that you flip to dim it, the electric is much better. It automatically dims it. It sees way better in the dark than a regular one, so much better visibility. All your controls here are really nice, simple, straightforward. You got some Z1 badging here. You've got this fake carbon fiber-y looking thing. Some people go, oh, it's not real carbon fiber. It's not supposed to. It's a minivan. It's a decently off-roading minivan. It's not a 4Runner by any means. So looks good, simple controls, nice, comfortable, supportive leather seats. Seats are a bit more comfortable than my truck over there. What you've got is a 17-inch and then I think like an 11-inch So it's a really, really nice kind of wraparound entertainment system here. When you go off-roading, you've got trailering modes. It's a really nice package to be able to come in here and say, all right, well, I'd like this one to be tire pressure. I want that one to be my elevation if I'm going overlanding and stuff like that. I think there's another screen. Yeah, you got your latitude and longitude as well as your compass. All kinds of cool stuff. Over here, you can scroll through your dash. You've got your map there, or it can pull it from your, there's another mode where it has its own built-in Android Auto, and then you can link it to your phone and use the phone's Android Auto features. Let's see, you got that display, you've got that one. I don't know if maybe I gotta let's put it in all-wheel drive and see if that gives us some extra modes. On mine, it gives you, in any of the other Z71s I had, it gave you a little bit more off-roady stuff with your roll, pitch, lean. I guess this doesn't have that. No, whatever. So anyway, what else we got here? Well, you do have roll and pitch there, so okay, you got the basics. So when you are off-roading, I believe you can turn on the cameras. So let's go back to the main thing here, and let's go to camera. And so here, you can say, hey, what camera do I want this to be? I want it to be an overhead shot. I want this one to be the side. I want to see what I have going on here. If I'm about to hit something, I want to look at the hitch. I want to look overhead from the back, standard looking straight back. So you can turn things, you know, on and off here, and see, you know, if you've got a rock or something up in front of you. Now, it doesn't give you the view where you're kind of like right there seeing it hitting the tire. It's not that advanced, not a Range Rover, okay? It also doesn't cost what a Range Rover costs, but it is pretty damn cool. Mine doesn't have there is a package for mine I could have. When we get into an inner review and driving review of my car, I'm gonna go over some things that maybe I should have optioned in and I didn't. But overall, I'm very happy with the vehicle. But there's a few things where you might want to take note of before you go buying one. But this is all very, very cool. I love the display. The stereo sounds pretty banging. If you look back here, you've got nice seats. These seats are power. In the back, you've got the captain's chairs, which are nice. Those fold forward and out of the way, so you can easily get back into the third row if you don't want to walk between the seats. So you've got an easy seating for 7 in here. You've also got this panoramic sunroof. So you've got one roof here, you've got one here. This one opens, that one doesn't. So it feels very big, open, light, and airy. You've got sunglass cases, you got, you know, good ambient lighting. Would be cool if you could control the color of the lighting like I could in my Ford and in my Mustang and then one of the Mini Coopers. But even the seats are well thought out. You've got all the little hooks there where I'm pointing for your child seats and stuff like that. We've got the all-weather floor mats. In the back here, let's see, you've got all your controls and stuff in here. So there's your other climate zone. You've got USB ports. In the back seats back there, you've got, you know what, fuck it, let's go in the back seat. It's starting to rain a little bit, but not too bad. So let's go in the back and see what we got. Just got this thing ceramic coated and it looks awesome. So here you go, better view. You've got USB ports. You've got an actual 120 volt electrical outlet as well as one in the front. You've got all of your AC and controls back here. So you want up, down, where do you want the stuff coming out of? You got vents up top. So really, really nice. You want to get into the back, you can get in here and crawl back there, or you can grab this lever, and even a big clumsy 6'4" mook like me can get in here and come back. So you've got ample room. Now I would say if you're really tall, the third row, I could sit back here, but my legs are a little, you know, it's a little bit close. If you're gonna have tall people, the back seat is really gonna be more for the kids. You can go ahead, and these do not move forward and back really, I don't think. I don't know, I'm still learning this car. But if you're taller, you're gonna wanna sit in one of these chairs. But just look at the room in here. Like, yeah, in the inside it feels a bit minivan-ish and stuff like that, because minivans are just big open spaces. but it's actually really nice. I would say if there's downsides to it, not much. It's nice. I got vents back here. I got AC blowing on me, even though I'm like 10 feet behind the driver. Really freaking nice. And you still got room back there for a couple things of luggage. And if you're only carrying 4 people, then these seats fold forward out of the way, and now you've got from here all the way to the back, plus the storage bin underneath. All very, very cool. Let me climb out of this bad boy. I think it's tough looking. I'm glad they get rid of the minivan sort of look. The tires on this thing that came with it, it's a pretty decent wheel package. I think my wheels look a little better on the Colorado, and they're certainly bigger. But you've got 18s on this. They're 265/65s. And what are these? Wrangler Territory ATs? They're not super aggressive. They're not mud tires, right? But they are certainly adequate. All in all, I love the exhaust tips back here. Your spare tire is inside and underneath that little cubby. This has the trailer package, so there's like these 2 little plastic tabs you turn here, and this plastic piece pops out. And when you do that, you got your trailer hitch. It's a class 2 hitch. It's got your electric controls. It doesn't have trailer brake controls. That one does, but you know, if you want to go aftermarket, I think you can add that stuff. I don't think they had trailer brake controls. Let's go back up to the front. Mine absolutely did. Mode, auto. Now let's go back and see what other stuff. So no trailer brake controls in this one, but you got your different modes. You can turn your all-wheel drive on and off. Honestly, I just leave it on. What it does is it'll drive, in this car it drives with the front, and then if you get so much spin, it'll lock up the clutch and divert torque to the back. So it's kind of just an on-demand. That one does it the same, it's just in reverse. It's rear-wheel drive, unless the rear spins, then it engages the front. Now on this, you don't have 4 high-low. That has auto and 4 high and 4 low. And it's got a G80 locker on the rear, which is a mechanical locker, bit crude, nicer to hit a button like you can on some of the trucks out there, but it does work very well. It's very effective and it's reliable. This uses that dual clutch in the back. If one wheel in the back is spinning, it can lock both wheels on. It can divert torque to all the torque to one wheel that has grip. So it's a pretty good all-wheel drive system, but it's basically on or off. Now you have a mode button here, and that's where you can go into toy haul. You can go into your terrain mode, which turns off the traction control and allows more like wheel slip, and it does a better job of like torque vectoring and neat things like that. You got your off-road mode, which is more of like your auto mode for being off-road. And then if you want to sharpen up the steering, or I don't know if that sharpens up the steering, but it does sharpen up the throttle response and shift points and all that stuff, you can throw that into sport mode. The other one would just be plain old normal. So I usually get in and just put it in sport and leave it in that. And if she ever goes off-roading or uses towing, it has a bunch of pre-programmed things for engine response. I don't know if for towing it adjusts the torque, you know, maybe adjust the boost or something that for more low-end torque to get a trailer moving. But all these things are kind of programmed in, so you just sort of push the button for what you want, and for the most part the system figures it out. You're not going to do any serious overlanding in this. You're not going to go and do any kind of crazy rock climbing in a SUV this big that doesn't have a low range gearbox. And while it does have pretty damn good clearance, it's nowhere near the clearance you got on that thing. That thing has got a lot of clearance. That suspension lift from the factory over the Z that's on top of the Z71, and the bigger wheels and tires have just really, that thing has a lot more presence. But this thing is pretty damn good. I guess we can do is pop the hood real quick, see what's going on under there. And I mean, it's pretty good clearance. It's not a 4Runner, but gravel roads, a light trail, you'd be fine. You'd be fine on this. Now the turn radius might not be awesome, because it is a pretty big vehicle, but I mean, I guess it is smaller. The wheelbase is shorter than a Silverado. Let's go up the front. You got LED lighting and all that kind of fun stuff. Somewhere in here is a little thing. Oh, so yeah, hers has the hood struts. Mine does not. So that's a 2.7 inline 4. Produces 310 horsepower. and 430 foot-pounds of torque. It produces as much torque or more than the 5.3-liter V8. This produces 324 horsepower out of a 2.5, but it's only around like 296 or 3-something torque. It's a lot less torque. Wind's kicking up. We got a thunderstorm about to roll through. Battery's easy to get to. Everything's easy to get to. Turbocharger, I don't know where the hell that is. I think it's maybe down in the back somewhere. I don't know. Easy access to the air filter. If you want to put an aftermarket air filter or just clean or wash or replace the stock one, right there. I don't know if it uses the same technology on the motor that one does, where the water pump is external from the motor. It doesn't run off the timing chain. So it's an electric variable speed motor. So if you're idling, but you were just like hauling up a mountain and then you got stopped at a traffic light and everything's smoking hot, well, when you're sitting there idling, the water's not moving much. You want to cool that shit down. That thing can spin the motor as if you're running down the highway at higher revs, even though you're just idling. But you get maximum cooling whenever you want it. It'll also cool less if you start driving the car when it's cold, so that it helps the motor warm up faster, which then heats the cab up faster. Like, it's a very clever thing they did on that. This doesn't have that, but it's a very good powertrain. When you get in here and drive this thing, we'll go for a quick ride around the block or something. Well, I tried to baby it. I don't want to smack it, but it's got good to get up and go. Like, let's go ahead and put on our seat belt. Safety first. All right. Now, how you use this thing is a little weird. This is your gear shifter right here. But moving it this way doesn't do anything. When you want to put it in park, you push the park button. Your brake. Let's turn off our auto start stop because I hate that stuff. Let's see. Where's the parking brake on this damn thing? Oh, over here. So parking brake's off. Oh no, it was off before. Now it's off. So in order to shift it into gear, it's weird. You have to get used to it just a little bit. You pull this in and then you click it. You click it down one, you pull it back and click it down to the next. If you want to put it in low. Although it's not going into low, that's kind of weird. If you want to go up to reverse, you do that. When it goes into reverse, the seat just vibrated to let me know. That's interesting. I've never seen that on any of my cars anyway. It's flashing to let you know, hey, don't back up, but also went burp, burp. So if you did grab this and went in the wrong direction, now we're back. And if you just pull it back and hold it, it puts you in neutral. So if you had to coast for some reason, you could just pull that in and it just disengages, goes in neutral, pull it in, down. It's a little weird. I'm not 100% sure I like it. Oh, by the way, this also has a charging mat, unlike mine, for wireless charging. So we're in drive. Let's, I don't know if this is automatic on the, whatchamacallit, I don't know, rain sensing wipers. Actually, most of my cars have not had that. The one that did was the Mustang, oddly enough. So, I will tell you, you know, I've driven a bunch of SUVs. We've had a lot of trucks. Now, these things are obviously not sports cars. However, they ride really nice. Like, this is a nice, it's firm, but it's compliant. It's very smooth. It's brand new. Things probably got to bake in a little bit. Maybe it'll lighten up a little bit. But driving her, this feels not quite as big, but kind of almost as big as the Silverado, even though it's not. The Silverado, however, it handled as a great truck as far as trucks go. But going around turns, it was wallowy, it would pitch, it would roll. It was like not a fun handling truck. This feels great. Turn up our wiper blades a little bit. But I guess we'll just go this way, go around the block. All in all, give a little bit of gas. Hey, you feel that turbo kick in. So here's the biggest thing. This and my truck don't feel quick. And obviously compared to a Mustang or anything, you know, they're not quick. But it's deceptively quicker than you think it is. Now, what I mean by that is, you know, I'm used to 500 horsepower mid-engine Corvette, big V8 pickup truck, Mustang GT performance pack with a 10-speed before that. I've gotten used to like stomping the gas and it goes. But it's more than that. It's also the experience, the sound, the roaring, which makes it feel fast. You know what I mean? When you push the gas and you hear the gas pedal and you hear, it's like, that's why like EVs are kind of deceptively quick. They're faster than gas cars typically, but they're lacking for people because they don't have the engine noise, they don't have the character. We are, because we've always had we've grown up from our granddads forward with gas cars. You've grown up with vroom 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 means you're going fast. That is coded into our brains at this point. And so we'll turn it around, focus on the money maker of Dave's Man Cave. You're used to hitting the gas and it gives that visceral feel of excitement. It's like an animal growling. This doesn't have that. This has a smoothness. I'm not gonna lie. Sounds a bit like a sewing machine, as does my truck. And it's a 4-banger. So there's no exhaust, even if you wanted to spend the money, that you could put on this engine that's gonna make it sound cool. That is the nature of 4-bangers. The exceptions might be, I've heard some GTIs that sound okay. The Elantra N sounds, for that kind of motor, for an little inline 4, sounds good. The Boxer motors from Subaru, if you do them right, sound pretty good. For the most part, this is never going to have that visceral, raw noise, shit's happening kind of experience of, you know, a Silverado with a 5.3 or a 6.2 or something. Not that those are fast, but, you know, you straight pipe, which I always did with our Silverados. We cut the muffler, do a muffler delete, and leave the resonators in so it doesn't sound tinny and it doesn't get that highway drone, but it's a straight pipe V8. But I mean, it's quick. I mean, you look at the speedometer. Now it's raining here. Good thing we're in all-wheel drive. But if you stomp on it, that turbo kicks in and it pulls. Like, it's not fast, but considering this vehicle weighs like 4,500 pounds or, you know, whatever the hell it weighs, and you got a 4-cylinder in there, you're like, oh, this is just gonna be, nah. And it's really not. It's not satisfying the way stomping a V8 pick-em-up truck's gonna sound, and you feel the roar, you feel the vibrations. This is just smooth and it's quiet, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not slow. Now, my truck is quicker. It weighs a lot less, and while it doesn't have as much peak horsepower, it's got a lot more torque, like well over 100 foot-pounds more torque. So my truck, on a good day, you get 0 to 60 in 6.7, 6.8 seconds. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago that was considered a respectable time for like a hot hatchback or a little car. So to have a pickup truck with a 4-cylinder that can do that, not bad. This thing's pretty damn good though. It rides really nice. The seat's comfortable. The AC, I remember the Top Gear guys saying one day, I think it was Richard Hammond, hey, you know, Americans and General Motors, Chevy, Cadillac, they know how to build a car. Basically, they design a giant air conditioner and then they design a car around it. So, you want to be frosty in the summertime and comfortable? I love GM vehicles, man. You could freeze out a penguin in here. I like the open feeling. I kind of wish that my truck had the sunroof and stuff like that, that big ass panoramic moonroof or whatever. That thing does open, so you get some air in, and right now we don't want rain in, so we're not doing that. But it's a really nice vehicle. It's very comfortable. If you're road tripping, man, you be tripping, this is gonna be awesome. So let's go ahead, do this with one arm. We in the reverses. So we got our backup camera as well as camera up there. So let's go ahead over the curb. Like if you had to drive over curbs with this thing, or I'll tell you where this thing is going to be awesome. Snow. The once in a blue moon that we actually get some snow here. I think this thing is gonna be the shiz. My seat's vibrating. So it's not beeping as I'm backing up. I think there's a way to turn that on. But as that alarm comes on and I get closer, the seat vibrates, and like a lot. So you girls, you know, you might like that. Let's push the button. We're back in park. Bing bong, that's a loud bing bong. Go ahead and push park. Now, I didn't see it before because it's kind of like weird. You almost need the reflection of something because that the P doesn't light. It's etched in the silver, but it kind of goes away at certain angles. But once you know it's there, it's there. So it's got a 5G hotspot. Granted, that wasn't exactly a long test drive here. No, is that on or not? Parking brake set. Okay. All right, park is on. I felt the car roll forward, I guess because I hit it twice. All in all, this is great. You got storage. You got a cubby for your phone, you got drink holders, you got thing in here, flashlights and crap, and all kinds of stuff down there. I love the faux carbon fiber. I know it looks plasticky and stuff. It just feels neat. Actually, it's got some depth to it. I thought it was like just printed on there, but when you get up close to it, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, it's underneath. I don't think it's real carbon fiber, but it's got some depth like carbon fiber would. Unlike the Corvette, you can actually get and clean the window. It's all right here. Whereas I really couldn't clean the bottom of the windshield. It was so slanted and far away, you couldn't reach it over shit. Unlike my truck, this thing telescopes and comes back. That's the one complaint I have with my truck. Some things I would like better would be the some of the packages I could have added to the cost, but I didn't want to. The one thing I didn't realize was the steering wheel. We'll talk about that when I get to that video. But all in all, this is a great vehicle. You know, if you're at a point in life where you got to go the minivan route, you got the kids, but you don't want a minivan, you want an SUV because it's cooler and you don't sound as much like a goober driving one, but you want something that's got some somewhat decent, again, in the world of SUVs and minivan-ish crossover SUVs, that's got some fairly decent off-road street cred. The Z71 package is a good baseline package. It's up there with like the TRD and stuff. The TRD Pros can take it a little further, but that's where you got, you know, the ZR2s and the Bisons. Ford's got Raptor, things like that. I think their mid-range is like the FX4. Z71 is a decent package, and it's nice seeing that they've applied it to something other than Tahoes and Silverados and frame on or body on frame ladder type, you know, frame vehicles, that they're going into something with a unibody. And I know people say, well, it can't be a real truck or SUV with a unibody. Maybe back in the 60s. Unibodies today, in some ways, unless you're hauling really heavy shit, but on day-to-day and basic off-roading, unibodies can be stiff as hell. So they work. And you still got a 5,000-pound tow package. You can go some off-roading. You could tow the camper, tow a trailer, go camping down a dirty, muddy road. It'll be awesome in the snow. If you have to jump a curb or something to get off a highway that's backed up and run across the median or even through a somewhat realistic ditch, this thing will get you through it. Honestly, in some ways, this was what I wanted first. I was like, you know what? If I can't have the Corvette, I'm not going to get a smaller, lesser car that's going to really feel me let down because it's a lesser version of what I had. If I'm going to have to downgrade away from a car like that, I want to go to something that is completely in the other direction so I don't feel like I'm really missing out. And it gives me completely something else to do instead of a neutered version of what I had. That was kind of why I went to the idea of the truck or SUV. The thing is, with a thing like this, though, this is mid-50s. And by the time I traded in my vehicle, there was a little bit of negative equity, but I benefit from the sales tax because of the trade-in. I was trying to work a deal that I could save a very specific threshold. If it didn't save more than that, then my mind was, it doesn't make sense to get rid of the Vet. Just keep the Vet and drive it for another year, put up with the higher costs of maintenance and running it in tires and service and all that shit. But if I could save myself $500 a month, realistically, between payment, insurance, and maintenance, if I could save myself at least $500 a month, then it was worth getting rid of the Vet. And I did. And I got a really badass truck out of it. But I'll be honest, I wanted something like this. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to go that much off-roading that often, but man, being a big dude, being able to take people places, still being able to off-road, still being able to tow a trailer to get the bikes to the track days. I was like, a Z71 edition of the new Traverse with the new body, I'm like, that's what I want. But it was about $13,000 more than that, and it tipped the scales over that threshold I set, and I was like, not gonna do it. So I was really happy when my wife went shopping the next day and was like, I really like that Z71 Traverse. I'm like, I think you should get that, honey. So I got my truck, which is kind of what I settled for, but it's still very cool. I'm certainly happy with it. But in a way, at least it's in the family, I've still got the vehicle that I actually wanted. So we got them both. So there you have it. Traverse Z71. It's now raining. Not raining men. Damn it. I don't know which button opens that. I was going to close the... it slides to cover it, so if you want to keep the sun out and stuff like that, you can. I don't know which button it is without reading it. I know I'll just hit the wrong one, and all the water, it'll open it, and all the water will pour in. So we're not going to do that. But there you have it. That's my first, real quick intro and drive around in the Traverse. Hopefully, if you're looking for this kind of a vehicle, yeah, I'm not a TFL truck and stuff. We're not doing heavy off-roading and comprehensive pricing analysis. You got people for that. I'm just a regular schmuck that really likes the vehicle and figured I'd show it to you and see if it's something you guys get interest out of. Anyway, enjoy, and we'll talk to y'all later. Stay tuned for more Colorado stuff, including some good off-roading we're going to go do this fall.